And we're live. Sunday Service episode number 40. What is up, fight fans? What is up, degenerate bettors? We got a lot to talk about after last night. The ending that we all did not want. Henry Cejudo absolutely screwed himself. We'll talk about that. Maybe he should have pulled an Aljo. Maybe, most likely, he probably wouldn't have gotten the DQ, but could have saved himself from a loss. Let's just say that. Did Jason Herzog do what he needed to do? Apparently so. Are the rule set that's already in line, is that valid? I don't really think so. I definitely don't think Song Yadong deserves to walk away with a win. That seems ridiculous to me. But overall, the card was really solid. Prelims were insane. The first fight of the night, knockout. Second fight of the night, knockout. First 5 fights were knockouts, and then a submission, back-to-back submissions. And then we get to the main card, split decision. That was controversial, of course. Anytime there's a split decision, everyone's going to say there's a robbery. John Silva, absolute animal in the cage. Gotta love that guy getting it done, round 1 KO. Another split decision, more controversy, a lot of Matsumoto robberies comments out there. Not sure about a robbery, but it was a close fight. Anthony Hernandez, 29-28. That dude's a problem. The dude might be looking at a future title run here. I mean, he's on it right now. How many fights away is he from a title shot? He's going to be what? Middleweight rankings. He's going to be top 10 in the middleweight. I think there's a couple matchups you could have moving forward for Anthony Hernandez. That looks pretty solid. Probably going to throw him at the Apex for a main event, I'm assuming, just because. And Song Yadong Cejudo. I just don't understand how a 5-round fight can just become 3 rounds. We'll never understand that. I know that's the rule set of, like, if the fight was halfway through, then they could just call it, but it's a 5-rounder, and it went 3 rounds. 2 rounds of the fight had not even seen action. I don't know how they could just call it like that, but I'm sure you guys will have some opinions on that, and I'm interested to see what you guys got to say, because I got my opinions. I did a recap video on it on YouTube, but, you know, sometimes you guys give some good input, and maybe my opinion would change. Let's get into the chats. Mario, what's going on, brother? Tell me if you agree. Henry was given 5 minutes to recover, and in the moment looked like he was milking it and resumed. But saying he couldn't see in between rounds, calling it, I feel should be a TKO. I don't think it should be a TKO. Look, I had no money on Henry Cejudo or Song Yadong. So, I don't think it should be a TKO. I think it should probably be a no contest, because it can't be a TKO, because the only reason that he's saying he can't see is from an illegal move. So you can't get a TKO victory from an illegal move. I think it probably should have been a no contest. As far as what Henry was doing, the 5 minutes to recover, he took the 5 minutes, and everyone's like, you know, he was wide open. His eyes were wide open. He wasn't doing anything. But to me, it was like the dude's trying to, like, open his eyes to see. He can't see. He's probably trying to act cool so that, you know, Song doesn't think he's absolutely screwed. And in the process, he kind of screwed himself. That's why the title is the way it is. He kind of screwed himself because he shouldn't have said he could go after the 5 minutes. He should have just been like, I can't see, so we're going to stop it here. And if they stop it after the initial eye poke, maybe it's a no contest, and maybe that saves him a loss. So, yeah, I don't think it should be a TKO by any means. But the way that it was ruled doesn't make any sense in the fact that Herzog started round 4. Like, why would you even start round 4? That doesn't really make any sense to me. Henry's a bum. Allen's a bum. Philly is a bum. Philly. Who's Philly? Am I looking for sponsors? Maybe. I don't know. Depends. I was hoping for Goofy Henry to get knocked out. Now the narrative's going to be that he's still got it. It's going to building his ego, stupid bum. It's pretty harsh, but yeah, I mean, I think Henry probably would have lost anyway, but you never know. Like that's the worst part is the you never know part. That's why I think it should have just been a no contest. You got smoked last night. I had so much on the over 2.5 Bosch versus Simone. Yeah, I mean, Simone knockout was like plus 1,200 or something like that. So, I mean, it was not something that was very likely to happen, but he landed the shot. So, you got to give him credit. I kind of feel like Henry thought he was up 2, so he could steal a W by calling it. I really don't think that's the case. I really don't think that's the case. I don't think Henry was thinking like, I'm going to stop the fight so that I have a possible chance to win. I think he was legitimately thinking, I can't see. And if I go back out there against Song Yadong, Song is a power puncher that just tried to take my head off for the last 90 seconds of the third round. If I go back out there for 5 minutes in round 4, another 5 minutes in round 5, I'm going to get TKO'd. So, and probably take some bad damage. So if he really couldn't see, and I believe him, I don't think he could see. You could see the inner part of the eye was like super red, and the eye poke was very deep. And if you get inside of the eye like that, like it's kind of weird, but if you could just imagine my finger slipping inside this part of the eye, that kind of goes pretty deep in there. It's not right on the eyeball. It's like back there. And if you know anything about anatomy, I took anatomy in high school, but I do remember part of the eye, like it's more behind the eye is what happens. So I don't know. I don't think the guy could actually see. Send Henry back to TJ. If only TJ was still fighting. Hey, Unc. Hey, Jive. Thoughts on UFC Mexico? What is on UFC Mexico? I know we got Moreno and Urseg. What are the other fights? Moreno, Urseg. End of March. Tapology got to hit me with a bunch of ads. Got to hate that. We got Gastelum and Pfeiffer. That's solid. Manuel Torres, Drew Dober. That's a solid fight. Zellhuber, Elvis Brenner. That's an interesting one as well. The rest of them are kind of shit, but yeah. I mean, there's just going to be a bunch of Mexicans. There's not a lot of good Mexicans in the UFC, so it was weird. Cejudo looked fine after 5 minutes. I don't think you could say he looked fine. Like it's an eye. It's an eye poke. So it's not like it was a cut above the eye. Like there's not really much you could see. If you're going to say he looked fine, watch the way he fought after the 5 minutes. He was literally on his bike. Probably couldn't see. If he was fine, he probably would have went out there and tried to win the round. But all he did was run around, trying not to get hit and survive, which wasn't happening before the eye poke. Should have been a no contest. Yeah, I agree. I get why you don't like the TKO, and I agree aside from the fact that the fight resumed. I think they just resumed the fight because I don't know, maybe there's something in the rules of like if you stop the fight after the round, then it has to be a TKO or something like that. So that's probably why they started it. I hope Henry cried when he got home. He might have. UFC Mexico is solid. What's up, Parlay Princes? Should have took his beating. Oh, Feely. Feely is dead to me. That dude's absolute bum. Stick your head in a guillotine, you take it out, and then you put it back in. What an absolute idiot. Man, you said that Anthony finishes the opponents. He didn't. Good Lord, dude. I really don't understand. Some of you fucking guys are just absolute tards. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Whoever this is, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen you on my channel, but absolute tard comment. Like, like really bottom of the barrel comment. Like, you have to be very low IQ to make a comment like that. Thoughts on UFC Mexico card? It is solid for the third time. I've never seen someone with their eyes wide open like that saying they can't see. Didn't rub it or anything. A little weird, but we'll let him slide. I mean, we'll be interested to see what the medical reports say, but apparently he did post it on his Twitter. I don't know exactly what it said. Maybe it was IG. He made it sound very serious, of course, because that's how Cejudo rolls. Cejudo diplopia, soft tissue damage, and corneal abrasion. Corneal abrasion is pretty nasty, I'm not going to lie. Did any of the long shots hit this weekend? I don't believe so, but we're going to go back and make sure. But I don't think any of them did because there was only a couple decisions. Yeah, I don't think there was, man. We'll make sure, though. We have to truly thank you for the KO percentage of fights in the UFC increasing because you voiced your opinion. Jonathan, what's up, brother? You must be a long-time supporter of the channel because we've been talking about this for a while. We got it done, boys. The KOs are back. The old gloves are back. We got a bunch of KOs, but now we got to deal with the eye pokes again. And I'm not saying the new gloves really solved the eye poke issue, but it is just kind of ironic that the old gloves are now like officially back. We get a bunch of KOs, but then we also get an eye poke that ends a fight. Kind of sucks, but either way, we got a lot of knockouts, so that's cool. We wanted Zell Huber versus Ziam. Dude, Zell Huber doesn't deserve to fight Ziam, honestly. He lost to Heavix. Real question, hey, Jai. Mike Malott beating Charles Radke. I don't know, man. I don't think Mike Malott is like all that fucking great. I think Charles Radke could maybe win. Charles' only loss in the UFC is to Carlos Prates. So, yeah, I mean, Charles got some heavy hands. Unk JDM champ by December. Let's go, bro. I'm about it. Give me that JDM victory. Dude, honestly, JDM at plus 200 against Bilal Muhammad, I'm all about that. I'm all about that. I know I got the ticket for him to be champ by the end of 2025, but I might have to double down and take him against Bilal at plus 200, bro. You think Henry would have won if no eye pokes happened? Probably not. Probably not, because on one of the judges' scorecards, he was down 3-0. And then on the other two, he would have had to at least win 2 out of the next. He would have had to won the next 2, right? Yeah. So probably not, but he didn't look bad, honestly. Costa versus Allen, Jared versus Fluffy. I like that. I like that. What's Paulo Costa right now? 11. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I was going to say Hernandez versus Cannonier. I think that makes sense. Both just fought. Cannonier, fucking tough guy to finish. And a real vet of the game. I could see that being an Apex main event right there. Jared Cannonier lives at the Apex nowadays. So Cannonier versus Hernandez makes sense to me. If Cejudo did beat Song, would a match with Pantoja be an ideal move for Triple C? I don't think he could make 125, honestly. He didn't. I don't know. He looks pretty damn thick nowadays. So I don't know if he could make 125, maybe. But a win at 135, does that really mean he could just go Fight for the title at 125. Did any long shot parlay hit? I don't think so, bro. Next moves for Kudalaba. Shout out to the boy E1 Kudalaba, bro. That dude was the smartest fighter on the card. What's next for Kudalaba? What's Kudalaba's ranked right now? I don't think he is ranked. Shit, give him fucking Alonzo Menafield or some shit. Give him Bogdan Guskov. Give him the Johnny Walker rematch. Who gives a fuck? I don't know. Kudalaba's just wants to fight, dude. Can we talk about that bomb Dana dropped when everyone on the East Coast was sleeping? Bro, I was literally, he said he was going to make an announcement, and it was probably 10 minutes before I was about to go to bed. He makes the announcement, and I was like, fuck, dude, I can't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I didn't go to bed till like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was rough. Lord Hayjive, can you pick one from each? Macy Barber, Valentina Shevchenko, Verna Jandiroba for kiss, marry, and butt stuff. Verna? Jeez. Verna. Pick your poison. Oh, God. Verna? We got Shavkat in the chat right now. Shavkat, you are 130, boy. I'd probably go Verna for all 3, bro. F the other 2. Give me Verna for all 3. Yeah, Feely definitely banned for life. He's not on the Kevin Holland level, but he's close. He is very close. Congrats on getting flawless picks against the Show Me the Money boys. Yeah, goddamn right. Dude, I put the fucking team casuals on my back, all right? I'm the only one that went 5-0, and I'm the reason we won. Because if I don't go 5-0, then we either tie or we lose. Team on my back. Put the team on my back. I'm fucking LeBron in 2016, 2017, 2018. I am the prime LeBron of team casuals right now, all right? I need my Kyrie Irving. I need somebody to step it up. I can't carry this team throughout the whole season. All right, team casuals. I'm the captain now, all right? We got to beat these fighters. We beat them 1 week, but next week, game 2, we better come out hot. I can't carry us all the way through, all right? 5-0. I can't do that every week. Next week, I'm going to try. But sometimes Braun's got an off night. Silva versus Bryce sounds fire. I'm so about it, dude. I think John Silva would put Bryce Mitchell through the Taporia cycle of just waxing him, bro. Hey, Jive, is Taporia getting a 155 belt this year? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can bet on that. If he gets that fight with Islam, he is snatching it, bro. He is snatching it. Round 2 KO. Who would you favor if Silva fought Garcia? Jean Silva. 100%, bro. 100%. Jean Silva would counter the fuck out of Steve Garcia. I'm sorry, but I love me some Steve Garcia, but Jean Silva would counter the shit out of him. Vanderford next fight. At 170, give him fucking Neil Magny or some shit, dude. Give him D-Rod. Give him a fucking Alex Morono. He's not going to beat anyone in the top 15, honestly. Like, Nikolai Veretanakov is very low level. Very low level, no ground game. So, it was a good win for him. And I did think he was going to win. I bet on him, but, you know, he's 34, almost 35. Like, he's not going to crack into the 15. Just tell you that. He's going to have some fun fights, which is cool, but his prime years are way behind him. Henry's eye was bleeding. It was on the inside. This side. Song was piecing that bum up real bad. Cejudo wanted out. I don't really think he was. I actually think Cejudo was kind of turning the momentum a little bit. How did you meet the man, the myth, the legend, Matty? Social media, brother. Social media. Y'all some retards thinking Cejudo could continue after that. Yeah, that's facts, dude. Like, if the guy says he can't see, then he probably can't fucking see. Okay. And I can't blame him if he can't see that he doesn't want to go out there and fight Song Yadong if he can't fucking see. He had Simone by KO and Costa by KO on a parlay. Simone hit, but Costa get a sub. I was dead pissed because it would have got me 800. Yeah, that's tough, bro. That's tough. That's how the fucking cookie crumbles. If I had a dollar for every parlay that missed by one leg, I'd be fucking rich, bro. The old gloves got to stay. Unk, hey, jive new. That's facts, dude. Old gloves, we get violence. The old gloves, we get Ricky Simone getting knockouts, bro. That's what happens. With the old gloves, we get Ricky Simone knocking Javid Basharat to sleep with his eyes open. That's what happens when we go back to the old gloves. But then we also get the John Jones eye pokes. I swear to God, if fucking John Jones and Tom Aspinall happens and John Jones eye pokes the shit out of Tom Aspinall, I'm going to be pissed. That's probably what's going to fucking happen. I just realized this shit. I'm the one that has been so heavy on Tom Aspinall being the best heavyweight in the world that he's going to go beat John Jones. But I'm also the one that was saying the new gloves don't allow for knockouts. And we need to go back to the old gloves. And we got the UFC to go back to the old gloves. But the irony in this is it just gave John Jones his superpowers back with the eye pokes. So if that fight happens, we're going to be with the old gloves. And John Jones is going to have his eye pokes. And Tom Aspinall's probably going to get fucking eye poked. I just realized that. Now I'm sad. We go back to the new gloves for that fight, please. Because Tommy Aspinall still knocking dudes out with the new gloves. Fuck, dude. Did not want to see that. So you knew it would be Chandler versus Patty. And do you think JDM has a chance to beat Bilal? What a crazy lineup of fights. Oil up, Dana Fox, dude. Yeah, Chandler versus Patty. I'm leaning Patty. Do you think JDM has a chance to beat Bilal? Yeah, of course. I do. 100%. UFC is going to have 2 Aussie champs soon. I kind of hope Volk beats Diego just for Volk's legacy, man. I just kind of do. And I think JDM can beat Bilal. Can you see Patty beating Chandler by decision? It's 5 rounds, but yes, I don't think Chandler wins a lot of rounds in the UFC. He's pretty much finish or bust. Would you bet on GFL? Bro, you don't have to ask me twice. I would bet on GFL. Yeah, of course. Bilal getting blessed with a title defense before Shavkat takes it from him. I don't think so, bro. I don't think he's getting blessed. I mean, welterweight is a tough division, bro. The new company. Ebo ruined your 8-leg parlay. I'm sorry, bro. What's your thoughts on Dana saying Ilya might not fight Islam next? I am skeptical because I think Ilya will fight Islam. I think so. Jonathan, thank you for the $2. Thank you, brother, for giving us more KOs in the UFC. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I spent a lot of my time pulling that data together to make a case for the UFC to go back to the old gloves. So I appreciate you for the dono, and hopefully we can get some more KOs in the future. Hey, Jive, if you could rate the UFC year from 1 to 10, what's your pick this UFC year? 2025, there's only been, 6 cards? I would give it like a 6.5, 7 so far. 6.5, 7. Actually, no. I would give it a 6. I would give it a 6. And I say that because some people get this wrong. Okay? Scale of 1 to 10. People would think like 6 is a bad score. It's not a bad score. Because you have to think 1 to 10, 5 is the average. 5 is the average. It's right in the middle. It's the median. All right? So I'm going a little bit above average. It's been a little bit above average. I will say that because, I mean, we haven't seen the fights yet, but from what has happened so far, six cards in, UFC Seattle, really good. The Apex card 2 weeks ago, pretty solid fights overall. Main event was solid. The pay-per-view in Aussie was eh. It was but, you know, I'm a little bit biased because DDP. And then the week before that was what, Saudi? Is he getting knocked out? We love that. We love that. Then what? Another pay-per-view? Umar versus Marab, big fight. Jamal versus Yuri, big fight. Islam Moicano getting a title shot. That's, you know, a little bit biased for me. It's a little bit above average, I would say, so far. But honestly, from what we're looking at moving forward, it's could be a real big year. Thought. I don't know what that means. Who's your favorite MMA fighter? DDP, bro. Went 10 for 10 on picks and 3 for 3 on bets. Biggest bet was 1,200 on Simone by KO. Wow. Shout out to you. Thoughts on Grasso versus Natalia? I think Natalia Silva going to beat her. Since Shavkat is injured, who should he fight when coming back? Buckley, Usman, winner of Brady Leon. He should fight. Who should he fight when coming back? He's going to fight the winner of JDM versus Bilal. That's 100% what's going to happen. At some point, we need a John Silva versus Diego Lopez fight, speaking it into existence. That would actually be sick. I would say that. Eventually, it could happen. Thoughts on Grasso versus Silva? Don't think Grasso stands a chance on the feet. I think she stands a chance, but I do think Natalia Silva wins. Do you think Ankalaev is going to drown Poatan on the ground? I don't really think so, bro. I don't really think so unless he just comes out with a Habib type of style. I just don't really think he's going to. I think he's going to flirt with the striking, man. I think he is. Bro, I cashed on your DFS. Didn't tail Nick Klein, felt too risky, but thanks, man. Hey, good for you then. Good for you not tailing the Nick Klein one. Dude, I was so pissed because I'm like, bro, Mansoor could have just went out there and nuked the guy. But Nick Klein landed 21 meaningless inside leg kicks that Mansoor just didn't care about. And, you know, they count as significant strikes because they're at distance. But, yeah, that one was tough to swallow. Who you got in Fluffy versus Rob? I got Fluffy. 100%. Fluffy definitely deserves a higher ranked fight than Jared. Yeah, but Jared's coming off a win. Like, who are you going to match him up with? Whitaker? I don't think they're going to give him Whitaker. They're not going to give him Izzy. This is like realistic. Like, what are we talking realistically? Like, I think they could probably give him Cannonier. They're not going to give him Whitaker. They're not going to give him Adesanya. Fluffy's just not big enough of a household name for them to throw Fluffy at a Whitaker or an Izzy. I just don't really see it. I mean, maybe they could, but I would probably lean towards them doing a Jared Cannonier fight. Matthew Carrillo, thank you for the $4.99 dono. I appreciate you, brother. Fallen dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know. Sending love from Portland, Oregon. The Hazy pay-per-view it's over 2 years in the making, boys. We've been doing this for 2 years. Hazy's been giving his pay-per-view picks for over 2 years. We got one coming up on March 8th, I think it is. Poatan versus Ankalaev. Who's Hazy going to pick? I appreciate you for the dono, brother. Much love from you. Thank you for the support. Walker heel hooks Aspinall 9 out of 10 fights. That is, I mean, he does have a loss by heel hook, doesn't he? That's sketchy. Maybe he could. It's always that one leg facts. I just picture Chandler knocking out Patty inside of 2. I just don't really think Chandler's he's explosive enough, but he doesn't set anything up. Like he could catch like a wild hook on Patty's chin, but Patty is pretty durable. Who do you see winning, Pitbull or Yair? Right now I'm thinking Yair just because Pitbull is like almost 38 years old. He's pretty old. And he hasn't really looked amazing lately. So, yeah, I would lean Yair. It's looking like it's going to be Dustin versus Ilya. I don't think it's going to be, bro. Like, I know Dustin is going to be fighting in Louisiana. He's going to be fighting in Louisiana. I just can't really picture Ilya Taporia going to fight in Louisiana, bro. Like what are we talking about? And I think Dustin's ready for a retirement fight, and I don't know that he would just take Ilya as his retirement fight. Like he probably wants an OG of the game. Can you see Silva beating Movsar, Sterling, and Murphy? Those are three really tough matchups because they can all grapple pretty well. And obviously, Movsar and Sterling are really good grapplers. But that's why I kind of want to see him take on like a Bryce Mitchell first, just to like test out the wrestling a little bit. Because Movsar could very much like wet blanket him. But on the feet, obviously, I think he's better than Movsar on the feet. I think he's better than Sterling. I think he's better than Lerone on the feet, too. But, you know, we haven't really seen him defensively grapple much. Another thing is he's fought, what, 4? How many fights does he have in the UFC? 4? Yeah, 4. They've all been southpaws. It's a fun fact for you. Gian Silva has only faced southpaws in the UFC. Weston Wilson, Charles Jourdain, Drew Dober, and Melsik Bagdasaryan. How does he look against an orthodox striker? Kevin Vallejos is a switch striker. He kind of goes back and forth. Same with Charles Jourdain, but mostly out of southpaw. I don't know. I kind of want to see Gian Silva. If you're going to give him another striker, I kind of want to see Gian Silva against like a Dan Ige or somebody. And Ige, who also has really sharp boxing. Or a Giga Chikadze, maybe Yusuf Zalal. Yusuf Zalal is a tough matchup for anybody. But yeah, I think he's a real fucking deal. Do you see anyone actually beating Merab? I don't, bro. I don't. You got to knock him out in round 1 or 2. That's what it comes down to. And he's kind of figured out, I don't really need to take much risk in round 1 or 2. So JDM is not beating Bilal. He got controlled by Gilbert, who has average wrestling at best. Go ahead and bet Bilal then, brother. Go ahead. Prates versus Jeff, going to be a banger. I see another badass KO for the Fighting Nerds. Yeah, you don't want to go against the Fighting Nerds nowadays, boys. That's facts. Do you like the Pantoja Merab matchup? Honestly, no. I honestly don't. But would it be somewhat interesting to possibly see? Maybe. But like Pantoja at 135, like he's not like some massive flyweight. He's not. So I think it would be tough for him to go up to 135. Henry needs to cut weight and go back to flyweight. Yeah, it's facts. Early thoughts on Duplessis versus Chimaev? Give me Duplessis. Lahovic is plus 225 against Olberg. Good value, or is he cooked? I think he might be cooked because he's had a lot of injuries. He's like 40-something years old. I think he might be cooked. But Olberg, I think Olberg's really improved. So I will say that. He's just going to be a lot faster. Timing's going to be there. Been more active. A lot younger. Like, I think Goldberg probably wins. Kyle would be Fluffy's nightmare matchup. Maybe. But does he have the cardio to keep up over 5 rounds, you know? Fluffy just really zaps everybody's gas tank. I'm telling you, once you brought the video about the gloves, they changed it. They did. They did. Not a lot of people will know this, but your boy did have some implications on them going back to the old gloves, all right? Just telling you that. Kyle versus Fluffy, who wins? I would go with Kyle right now. But Fluffy, if you give me underdog odds at Fluffy, I would have to take it. Do you think Rufy is going to run through Bobby? I do. I do think Rufy's going to knock out Bobby Green. Just because Bobby's older, reactions aren't as fast as they once were, and he relies on a lot of head movement and slipping and stuff, and Rufy's a really good counter striker. He's probably going to knock him out. Henry needs to go back to 125, one last run. Dude, he's always been a 125er. Like, he has obviously been the 135 champion, but that was like him in his prime. You're not going to come back at 135 and be undersized and win. Like, like long term, like he should have always been a 125. Like, yes, he moved up to 135. He got the belt. But look at the guys that he beat at 135 and what they did after that. You know, like the 135ers now, they're showing they're better. They're just a lot better. And Cejudo's 38, even going back to 125. Like, is he really going to be the champ again? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think Chandler, thank you for the $2 though, Brian Hurst. I appreciate you, brother. I don't think Chandler has the pop anymore. He's old now. Yeah. A little bit slower. Looked awful in the Oliveira fight. Like, so bad. Like, unbelievably bad. I did not expect him to look that bad. I thought he could lose. I thought he was probably going to lose, but I didn't think he was going to look that bad. Blall has been mixed up pretty badly by boxers in his career. That's what I'm saying, Jay Weezy. That's what I'm saying. Really good boxers against Blall. They've had a lot of success. So I think it's safe to say that JDM could win as long as he is recovered from broken forearm. Well, I hope he's recovered from his broken forearm because will have been about a year. So if it's not recovered, there's some bigger issues there. Jerkis has been blessing you. You going to tail him money line again against Hamzat? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I can't hop off the train now. I think Dustin and Max happens again. I could see that. Clearly going to be Max and Dustin. I don't know. Brandon Allen always manages to lose. I can't stand to watch him fight. True. I mean, he doesn't always manage to lose. He was on a 7-fight win streak, but his last 2 fights, he did manage to lose after winning round 1. Louisiana is going to be a fight night, and Ilya will not be on a fight night. On the other hand, the UFC does no favors for retirement fights, especially for the guy who smoked the Golden Goose, Connor. That is true. You're not wrong there. So they're going to have to give him somebody with a big name. That makes sense. Who that could be, it's probably not going to be anybody easy. Who you got in Hooker and Justin? Right now, I'm still leaning Dan Hooker. But did they just change that to a 3-rounder? Or is it still 5 rounds? I think I saw somewhere it's a 3-rounder now. Or is it still 5? Maybe I'm tripping. Who you got if Dustin faces Ilya? I'm taking Ilya Topuria against anybody, bro. Anybody. I'm taking Ilya Topuria. As much as I love Dustin, bro, I am taking Ilya Topuria against anybody on God's green earth within his weight classes of 145 and 155. All right, fellas. We're going to cut off the IG stream. So if you're in the IG stream, come on over to YouTube. There's a link on my story. We're going to cut you off here and continue with the YouTube Live. Because the YouTube Live, I can highlight the comments on screen so people can see them. So IG stream, you're down. Goodbye. And if you're in the YouTube Live, please do me a favor and hit the like button for me. We got 129 people in this. And we'll go for another 20 minutes or so, get to an hour. Chats are flying in. Keep them coming. Some good conversation. We got a lot to talk about, boys. Underestimating Gilbert Burns' ground game is crazy. That is facts. Gilbert's got one of the best ground games in the welterweight division. Just doesn't use it that much. Why are people always yapping about Top Toro? Topuria? Fighting Mostar, the only one that can stop Topuria is Islam. All right. Put the house on JDM. The belt's coming to AU. Plus 200, bro. I'll put the house. Okay. I won't put the house on it, but I will throw some action at plus 200 on JDM. You can bet that. One McGregor clone went to sleep. What if Rufy joins the slumber party? Bobby Green's not going to knock him out cold. Not going to do that. Justin versus Hooker, who you got? Justin, right? I'm leaning Hooker right now, bro. But honestly, it's a shit show, honestly. 2 guys that are just going to fucking slug it out. Do you think it's possible we could see DDP versus Pereira? I don't think Poatan would go back down to middleweight. I think it is possible. If Pereira beats Ankalaev and DDP beats Hamzat, it is possible. It is possible they could just make the fight at 205. What are your thoughts on the dudes from Jackson Pod bringing guys in, then talking shit about the guests regularly after? My thoughts would be, I don't know if it's like talking shit. Like honestly, if I'm friends with a guy, and they're probably not friends with him, but if I'm friends with a guy, some people would think it's talking shit, but I'm honestly like, you love your friends. You're just going to bust their balls, even if they're not there. If they're there, then obviously you're going to bust their balls. But even if they're not there, you're going to bust their balls a little bit. Because if you're friends with them and the other people in the room are friends with them, it's just fun. It's fun to make fun of your friends sometimes. Some people get it, some people don't. Honestly, if you don't get it, then I probably don't want to be friends with you. But in this case, it doesn't really seem like they're friends with them, like they're guests of the show. I don't know if they're tight with them or not. It's weird, but it's also like, they're fighters at the end of the day. Some of these fighters have a pretty fragile egos. And if they go on the pod and then the people on the pod make fun of them after, they're probably like, well, fuck those guys. Why did they have me on if they're going to talk shit about me? And I get it. If you're one of the guys on the pod and you're talking shit about a fighter that was on, it's kind of weird. But the case of like TJ Dillashaw going on there, it's not really like TJ was on the pod with them, if that makes sense. Like he wasn't on the pod with these fighters and then talking shit about them. He's just on the pod, the same pod that those fighters were on, talking shit about them. And honestly, he's not even talking shit about them. He's just telling it how it is. So people are just like, words aren't really going to hurt you. Like, come on, bro. You're a fucking fighter. Do words really get to you that badly? Like, some people's opinions just shouldn't mean anything to you. Most people's opinions shouldn't mean anything to you. So that's my thought on it. What do you think of Dana saying people want Merab versus Sean too? I don't understand that, dude. I don't understand that. I got to ditch this Zenachino. I don't understand why people would want to see Merab versus Sean too. But if you're Merab, you'd be like, sure, man, fuck it. UFC 313 looks really good. Who do you have in the main and co-main? Poatan and Dan Hooker right now, bro. For right now. UFC needs to move on from a lot of guys, Cejudo being one. Facts. I mean, I don't really think Dana really even cares about Henry Cejudo, to be honest. I don't think he gives a shit. Because if you watch the post-fight presser, they were like, would you ever run this back with Song Yadong and Cejudo? And he was like, no. Dude, I don't give a fuck about that fight. And to me, I think that has a lot to do with Cejudo. I don't even think Dana really cares about Cejudo anymore. So, and they're probably going to move on. Hey, Jarver, are we going to take Valentina at plus money against Manon? Is she plus money? Is she really? I don't know what the odds are. If she is plus money, that's interesting. But whenever I thought about the matchup, I did think Manon was going to win. Manon is good. Very similar fighter to Valentina, honestly. That Louisiana card for sure will have to be as stacked as this Seattle card was with action fights. I'm sure it will be. Who do you think will headline UFC 316 in Newark? Well, I just saw today that Pantoja and Kai Kara France were probably going to be on that card. It'll probably be a co-main event, though. Who's going to be headlining it? That could easily be a Merab headliner right there. Newark, New Jersey was a guy that trained at Serra-Longo. I could see that being the case. Merab in New Jersey. How do you see Pereira Ankalaev going? If Ankalaev strikes with him, he's getting knocked the fuck out or his legs absolutely chewed. But if Ankalaev wants to shoot, he could probably take him down, but he's going to have to fully commit to it. Poirier versus Usman. Just saying. Hell no, bro. Hell no. Are we for real right now? Fuck that. Taporia versus Thanos at 155. Who you got? Taporia, bro. Who you got, Leon or Brady? I'm going to go Sean Brady, but we also got to take into account it's in London. Leon loves to fucking cheat his ass off in London, I'll tell you that. So, it's a tough one. Did I move to Florida for work or always lived here? I did move here 2 years, or 1.5 years ago. Yeah, I just moved here for work pretty much. Hey, Job, how long you been betting on MMA and does YouTube pay okay? Hope your channel grows to 500K. Well, I appreciate you for hoping my channel grows to 500K. YouTube does not pay much, honestly, for the amount of time that you put into it. For how many subscribers, how many views that I get, doesn't pay much. So I put a lot of time into it now because I want to keep it growing, but it doesn't pay much. Like I wouldn't be able, if this was my only stream of income, I would not be able to live. How long have I been betting on MMA? Since I could bet. 18, 19, 6 years. Looking like Marab versus Jan 2 and Pantoja versus Kai Kara France will be main and co-main. Marab versus Jan 2. Honestly, don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Jan is a slow starter. Like, that's such a shit fight because Jan's a slow starter. And he's a guy that kind of banks on pulling away in the last 3, 4, or 5 rounds, but that's not going to happen against Marab. So, yeah, I don't know, bro. That's nah. You bet soccer? Nah. Just give me Whaley versus Pantoja. That's a pick'em fight for sure. Who you got there? I would put the fucking mortgage on Pantoja. I can tell you that. Holland or Gunner? If you have a pulse, I'll take you over Kevin Holland. Who you got in Valentina versus Fiorot? I think Fiorot, bro. Do you think that El Conquistador will become the champion? Is that the Tapouria's brother? Probably not, dude. Probably not. Do you have Echovision creatine in the back? I do not. If you're talking about the thing by Hazy, that's Big Supplements, bro. That's Moicano's brand. Big Sups. Hooker or Gaethje? Gaethje, bro. Or no, Hooker. Honestly, I don't know. It's probably going to be a no bet for me, honestly. John Silva and Bryce Mitchell, book it. Facts. We need more guys like you in the media. The media asks the dumbest questions during press conferences. Yeah, the media is not a job that I would ever want, to be honest. No interest in being a media person that goes to the press conferences or the media days and like ask questions. Just would be brutal for me, honestly. I don't have no interest in doing that. But the MMA media is pretty rough nowadays. Yeah. The problem with it is like the MMA media nowadays, if you ask something that's over the line of like what Dana White doesn't want you to ask, then it's like you might get booted. So you kind of got to mind your P's and Q's. I just don't really roll that way. If I got a question, I'm going to ask it. If I got an opinion, I'm going to say it. And that's why I do YouTube, because I could say what I want within reason. Within reason, right? Some things you can't say. Not that I would want to say them, but that's why you go your own route. Shaw needs a win first, in my opinion. Yeah, I would like to see him get a win first as well. Hey, brother, quick question. Does your subscription come with the many men prediction like the way they'd win by decision or finish? Or can you also give your opinion when you release the many men? My subscription never has the many men parlay in it. I could tell you that because it does not have a good win rate. But the subscription is just where you get all my bets, bro. All my bets. So props, money lines, parlays, My DFS plays when I put them in on Monday, tomorrow. That's where you get all my bets. Just curious. Appreciate that, Josue. You think Cody Brundage wins this week? I think he got a chance, bro. I think he got a chance. All right. I met him at the Tampa Hard Rock. Not really met him. I saw him. We were in the same room. But I was down Hernandez at the tables. And Dustin Jacoby had just got a big win. His teammate at the table just got a $50K bonus. We were running the table. But I was locked in. It was like 4 a.m. I saw Cody Brundage there. I did not have the energy to say anything. But I do think he could win. Were you as happy as me to see Bashaw get KFO? Kind of, yes, honestly. Bashaw's one of those guys that you're just like, I just don't really like you, bro. Like, I don't really like the way you fight. It's not like you're good. But like I can respect your skill set, but like I just not a fan, you know? How many Bashaw fans are there outside of the country where he's from? Probably not many. Thoughts on Figgy and Sandhagen? Yeah, it's an interesting one. No idea why they chose to put Davis and Figueiredo on a fight night card in Iowa. All right, I'm from the Midwest, okay? There's not many Brazilians present in the Midwest. And Iowa might be like, holy shit. I've never seen a Brazilian in my life before. Maybe that's good. Maybe they want to go see Davis and Figueiredo fight. But very weird location to put Davis and Figueiredo. Very weird. I believe it's in Iowa. Weird. Morale versus Pantoja sounds like fire matchup. Yes and no. How far do you think Anthony Hernandez can make it? I think he can make it top 5 for sure. I think he can. He definitely should not take any 3-rounders moving forward. He should be in only 5-round fights moving forward. He can make it very far. Can't believe Ursay got the Moreno fight. Moreno's going to knock out the Aussie sloth. Whew. Shots fired. MMA media borderlines work for the promotions. Long time removed from Ariel and Luke Thomas asking hard-hitting questions. It would make it more entertaining if they asked the hard-hitting questions, but to me, I don't think it's smart for them to ask hard-hitting questions because then it sparks controversy and they might lose their job. Dana hates when fighters retire with a belt, and Henry retired with 2 during a pandemic, thinking they were going to offer him a bag. Really screwed rest of his career and millions of dollars. Yeah, that dude has screwed himself on multiple occasions. I will say that. Do you ever watch other MMA YouTubers like AJ DeVito or MMA Teller? I love gathering information from you all during week leading up to fights. Yeah, here and there. If I'm working at my desk, I'll throw on the YouTube, watch some other guys, see what they got to say. MMA Teller, met him at UFC Tampa, good guy. Always got some good input. AJ DeVito, on the other hand, I don't know who that is. So I apologize, AJ DeVito. I don't know if I've seen your channel, but supposedly Vic Ross likes it, and I'm sure it is good stuff. I noticed you don't make as much parlays on the subscription. How come? Lots of money lines and props. Because parleesies, I just don't think there's a ton of, I don't know. I'm just not really a big parlay guy. Like, I'm not a big parlay, I like to cap my parlays at 2. Rarely would I make a 3-leg parlay. Just MMA is just a volatile sport, bro. Like, parlays in general are tough to hit. I'm not going to do like a big chalk parlay. It's just not how I roll. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a big parlay guy. I'm a big plus money guy. You know, I'm really not throwing a lot of chalk on my bets on the subscription just because that's just not how I roll. I'm a guy that likes to play plus money, and I'm usually going to lose more bets than I win. But when I win, you're betting plus money. in the end, you can still be profitable and proven to do so. I 100% have money on Topuria beating Islam by KO. I'll be there with you, brother. Subscription is worth it. Shout out to HOF. Let's go. Skeeper. SK33PER. That's kind of a nice. SK33PER. Let's go, brother. Let's make some more money. Who you got, Moreno or Usyk? I got Moreno. Any ideas who might be main and co-main for Kansas City, Missouri card at end of April? Am I wrong, or is Anthony Smith on that card? End of April. UFC Fight Night. Kansas City. Okay, man. Actually, shit. Yeah, that's a pretty solid card. And they have Anthony Smith on there, but they don't have a main or co-main. That is pretty weird. That's a solid card. I have no idea. Not a damn clue. Sorry, brother. MMA Experts. He's a beast. All right, I'll have to check him out. Usyk is easy money. I would be more interested in Usyk, but he's fighting Brandon Moreno in Mexico. And I know Royval just beat Moreno in Mexico. But is he going to lose in Mexico twice? By decision? Because you ain't going to finish Brandon Moreno. So you're going to have to win a decision. Which he could do. He could do. Could absolutely do. Congrats on hitting that many men parlay. I just took Rob Font by decision at plus 200 and made 400. Shout out to Rob Font. Let's go, bro. Do I make a living off gambling? No, I do not. Because I do not trust the abilities of the gambling world to provide for my family. So I would much rather build my bankroll on the side with my gambling money and make my money on the internet that I can count on to provide for my family. So, I mean, I make a lot of great money on the side for sports betting. And I think, I usually just try to build all my bankrolls, just build my accounts. Because the more your bankroll builds, the more you can bet on each bet. And then the more your bankroll builds again. So personally, I like to keep my betting money separate. So I'm not going to be taking money out to live off of. I just keep it separate, build it up as much as I can. So I don't have to live off it. How the F did Alonzo and Juicebox get fight of the night? My bet is Dana did not watch that fight. I thought for sure it was going to be Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto. I don't know how that wasn't fight of the night. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me. Like, how is Alonzo versus Juicebox the fight of the night over Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto? To me, Matsumoto, Rob Font was a lot more entertaining. Not that Alonzo Juicebox was a bad fight, but like they were just two tired dudes getting hit, you know? I don't know. Weird. I've never really understood the bonuses. Like a lot of times they're just stupid. Where can I get subscriptions? Senior up past few years, big units. I think there should be a link down in the description of the live. If you're in the YouTube live, link down in the description. You can use my code HeyJob. You get a 5-day free trial. And yeah, last year we were up 100 units. Had an amazing year last year. In 2023, we're 45 units, just under 45 units. So yeah, 2 years of results. And the third year, we're positive 8 units on the year so far. So it's a long year as well. It's a long year. And hopefully we get to that 100 unit mark again, because that is remarkable. Is it possible we get a couple more parlays this week? I mean, I could make the parlays, but bro, I'm just not a big parlay guy. Like money line parlays, it's tough. It's a volatile sport. And I'm not a guy that's going to be parlaying, minus 800. So we'll see. Pretty sad to see that for Anthony Smith's retirement fights. His goal is to make it to the second round. Yeah, I mean, that's not an easy fight for Anthony Smith, but he does have probably a big ground advantage in this fight. And it's not like Ming Yang Zhang is beating anybody good. Ozzy Diaz is trash. Benison and Barrow is trash. So I think it's a winnable fight for Anthony Smith. How much is a unit? A unit is 1% of your bankroll, brother. 1% of your bankroll. Ilya moving up because there's nobody he can beat at featherweight more impressive than Volk or Max. With that in mind, if he beats Islam, do you think he immediately tries to go up to welterweight? That would be ridiculous. I don't think that's the case. I don't think he would do that. Ilya's what, like 5'8"? Maybe even smaller? 5'7". Wow. Yeah, no. 5'7" is not going to cut it at welterweight. I can tell you that right now. So Ilya ain't going to be moving up to welterweight anytime soon. Has Professor Parlay ever hit? Professor Parlay has never hit. Never. He has almost hit. Almost hit one time. And it was very early on when I first started doing it. I think the parlay was like $10 to win $200K or some shit. And I hit like 4 out of the 6 legs. And the 2 legs I didn't hit was Charles Oliveira round 2 KO. He got it done in round 1 KO when he knocked out Beneil Dariush. And the other leg was Dan Ige, round 2 KO. And he won a decision over Nate Landwehr, but he knocked him down in round 2 with like 10 seconds left and couldn't finish him. It was like $10 to win like $200K or some shit. And it went 4 for 6, and the 2 legs that didn't hit were very close to being hit. That's how they get you, boys. But honestly, bro, 10, 15 bucks a week to win 100K. If you hit one in your lifetime, you're probably profitable. That's it. How many units did I win this week? I lost 0.85 units this week. So we lost 0.85. And it really came down to me having a bet on the fight to go the distance in the main event. And we lost it due to the eye poke. So, yeah, if that one's a no contest, that gets refunded and we're profitable. If it goes the distance like it looked like it was going to, we're profitable as well. But it's how the cookie crumbles. You know the worst part about that? This is actually insane. Insane to me. I was thinking about this last night because I was wondering what was going to happen to my fight to go the distance bet because of the way that the fight ended with the eye poke. I was like, what happens? Do I win? Do I lose? Turns out they marked it as a loss. Don't think I'm going to get my money back for that because it's going to be pulling teeth to get your money back. But so I had the fight to go the distance as a bet. And it goes to a decision, but it didn't go the full 25 minutes that it was scheduled. So it's a loss. And I remember when I had a bet on the fight to not go to decision in the Bruno Silva Chris Weidman fight. I had a bet on the fight to not go to decision, and it lost because it went to a decision. But the fight got stopped. The double eye poke, they called the double eye poke KO. It got stopped, but then they realized it was a foul. So then they went to a decision. So somehow I managed to lose both of those bets. And the only difference is the way that it's worded. So the fight to go to a decision would have cashed. Like some books are different. Some books have it listed as fight to go to decision. And last night, if you had that bet, it would have cashed because it went to a decision. But some books have it listed as fight to go the distance, and it's a loser because it didn't go the full 25 minutes. But on the flip side, when I did have the bet that said fight to not go to decision, it went to a decision and I lost when it didn't go the full distance. Somehow I managed to fuck that up twice. Sucks, but it is what it is. Do I train MMA? No, I don't train MMA, but I do train boxing and kickboxing. I can tell you right now, I did some clinch work on Thursday. I was so tired, bro. So tired. If I had to wrestle, I would be gassed. Thinking about buying the subscription, but I don't know how worth it is. There are reviews from people. Is there reviews from people who have actually bought it? That's a good question. Maybe we should get that. But you could try it out. There's a free trial, so that's why we give the free trial. So you could try it out, see if you like it. If you do, you can stay. If you don't, you're free to leave. But the free trial is kind of the way that we can allow you to try it without paying for it to see if it's worth it for you. Knowing how the Georgian fighters like Merab and Ilya view fighting each other, do you think Ilya would fight Arman? Probably not. Do you ever round robin the Professor Parlay place? No, I don't. Probably should, though. Henry honestly didn't look bad. Facts. It's worth it. Oh, you're responding to him. Yeah, I mean, it's worth it. To me, what I'll say, it's worth it for you if you're actually going to follow good bankroll management and you want to be profitable. If you're just going in there to like fuck around and look for these long shot parlays and just kind of go off on a tangent and like chase your losses and get pissed if a bet loses, then it's probably not worth it for you. But if you actually want to win over the long term, if you tell the plays we've shown you over the last 2 years, you're going to profit over the long term. And you got to practice good bankroll management. You can't be chasing losses. You can't get upset if a bet loses. You can't get upset if we have a losing week because it's a long-term game. If you want to be in it for the long term, then it is worth it for you. But if you don't want to be, then it's probably not worth it for you. That's what I'll say. That's my opinion. But again, you can join with the free trial to try it out. All right, boys. I think we're going to call it there. We're over an hour in. We got 142 people in the live right now. I appreciate y'all for joining. Happy Sunday service. We got an Apex card this Saturday. Cody Brundage co-main event. Gotta love that. Manel Kape, Emil Asuamabayev. Gotta love that. We got Andrea Lee. 5-fight losing streak. Wow. We're gonna have to get creative with this one, boys. Apex card. And then the following week, we got UFC 313. So the train keeps moving on. A lot of good stuff coming. Appreciate y'all for joining. Like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here next Sunday for the Sunday service and all the good stuff throughout the week on the channel. Appreciate y'all. We out.